thanks again for coming right back here. We're about to get into two really good programs to use within the classroom, one of them being Sumo Paint, the other being Audacity. Sumo Paint is a phenomenal website. It's a free resource. You can use it to essentially create your own images. You can add text to those images, create really neat backgrounds. It's just like working with Photoshop, and the object here is to have your students working as, you could say, graphic designers. And the next program we'll be working with is Audacity. Here they're working more within the realm of creating music, so almost in a sense like a digital recorder. They can completely edit music to their liking, sounds, any actual things that they record on their own means. Thanks again. Hope you enjoy.
Hi there, how's it going again? We're back here and I'm taking a look at my computer screen as I'm talking to you guys. Basically, I want to introduce you to a fairly new program by the name of Audacity. It's spelled Audacity. Audacity is a phenomenal program for getting your students to learn how to edit sounds, even create their own sounds. It would be a great way of introducing students how to be their own digital recorders, so to say. They can record just about any sound that they can make with this, and they can also completely edit all of the sounds. If we were to think of Sumo Paint creates and edits images, Audacity creates and edits sounds. So with that in mind, here goes. Basically, I'm here at my regular browser, basically google.com. From Google, I want to go to Audacity, so I would type that in the search. It's Audacity. You're going to type it in. It's basically a free downloadable program. So over here, I'd click on the program name itself. Up here at the top left-hand corner of the screen, you'll see the signs that say Home, About. You want to click on Download. And here then you can find the program based on which operating system you have. If you have a Windows system, you would go with Windows here. If you have a Mac computer, you would go with the Mac more than likely. So here goes. You would simply click on Windows. After that, you'll get all this stuff, and right here it says recommended download. You want to click on the Audacity, and I'll highlight this so you can see it. Audacity 1.2.6 installer. So you would simply click it, then save file, give it a few seconds. Okay, it loaded already. After that, you want to allow the program because you're trying to download it. After that, it will bring you to the setup wizard. You want to click on next. Of course, you would read all of the license agreement, then click on I accept, and again hit next, and then next again, and next again, and finally yes, and next, and install. And now this is installing the program onto your computer, and once you're completely done, you'd click on finish. After that, you can go ahead and close your download box. I'll close this because I already have Audacity on my computer. Just wanted to illustrate the steps for you. This is what the program looks like once you open it. At the very startup of it, it says how to get help in case you want help with anything. You can always look it up on the manual or their wiki, which tells you all about different tips and tricks that you can use on the internet. I'm sure you could even type in Audacity to YouTube and find plenty of tutorials. After that, I'll simply click OK. Now, let's familiarize ourselves. Very much like Sumo Paint, if I wanted to import a picture or bring in a sound file here, I would simply go down to File, Import, and I want to import an audio sound because it's what I'd be working with. So one more time, that's File, Import, Audio, and that's how you import audio. Once you've imported audio, you can always add effects. if you notice, there are quite a few here. These are like your filters with Sumo Paint. So it's very similar. Sumo Paint is essentially used to create and edit images. Audacity is used to create and edit sounds. So now that you've loaded the program onto your computer, I'm going to minimize this, come back to the internet. I don't need this page anymore. So I'm going to introduce you to a brand new web page. It's called www.shockwave-sound.com. And I would more than likely have my students go to this website. I definitely want to check it out first to make sure it gets through your school's filter. It's just a bunch of different sound clips and music. So at this point in time, I would have a conversation with my students about how music can affect a person's mood. So up here, if you notice where it says search music or SFX, sound effects, I'm going to type in war and still stick with the revolutionary theme. So here I typed in war. The very first song is Antiac, followed by Azulejos. I want to hear a sound clip of it, so I'm going to hit play for the 30-second version. And here's a preview.
Preview.
And every so often you'll hear them say preview just because this stuff is copyrighted. There is a way around that, and I'll share that with you in just a minute, especially if you're working on this type of project with your students. At this point, just a real quick reminder, don't forget about copyright rules as well as laws. With music, I believe you can use up to about I'm drawing a blank here. I made a video related to this. With music, I believe it is about a 15-second audio clip that you can use of something that's recorded. And that's essentially all we're going to be needing, and I'll explain why in just a few minutes. Okay, so after war, you might say something like a new mood or theme might be being sad. Here's one sound, awestruck. I'm going to play that one and listen to it. Here it is. If you notice, the music's kind of slow and a bit more. And that was a quick preview here for you. Now I want to show you exactly why we use this program. Right up here in the search again, in this area, I'm simply going to type in pirates. Get some pirate theme music going on here. We'll click on Attack of the Sea Monster, play. I want to hear it real quick. And this is the theme. Now I'm going to pause it. Okay, so you know how to preview music on shockwave-sound.com. You also know or figured out how to install Audacity at this point. Now I'm going to minimize both of these. I'm going to come to my desktop and open up a new folder. To do that, simply right-click with your mouse, click on New, then go to Folder. I'm going to retitle it, instead of New Folder, Music. This is where I'm going to be putting all of the music. If you notice, it's on the desktop, and it makes it really easy to use. So, coming right back to my preview player, I'm going to go to Download Preview. And once I'm here, I want to click on Desktop so that I can find the folder because it's on the desktop. From there, I want to go down and find the folder now that says Music. Okay, so Music, and then Save. And the download's complete, it saved it. Now I'm going to close this. Here's what I'm doing with it that makes this Audacity program really neat. I'm going to go to File, Import, Audio, and now import the Attack of the Sea Monster theme song. I click on Open, and it's importing the file now. And now what we're looking at here is the full song, and I'll let you listen to a brief portion. What we're looking at here, this green little arrow with the green line is basically where the song is playing at. I can move that as I see fit and click on play. up here at the top left-hand corner, you'll see pause, play, stop. I guess this would be skip to the beginning, skip to the end here. This one right here would be for a record, if you wanted to record something. And we'll get into that a little bit later. Okay, so now I'm going to play it real quick. You'll hear the preview every so often. So what I want to do now is take a look at the pattern here. If you notice, right around here, you'll hear a shockwave sound. It was just mentioned. So I don't like hearing that. What I'm going to do is highlight this section. All I'm doing is highlighting it the way I would regularly highlight a document. And then on my keyboard, I'm simply going to hit the delete button. Let's try that again here. Delete. And it should have gotten rid of it. Let's try that again here. So I'm gonna completely stop. Just a note for you, you cannot edit it when you're playing it. So you have to hit stop and then highlight it and then delete it. Now it's completely gone. Just one of the small things needed for Audacity. Remember, if you're going to edit any sound, you want to hit stop, and then you can delete and get rid of those kind of extras that are in there. And I'm going to play it here. And now I got rid of it. I'm going to stop it. Now I want to show you the really cool thing here. So I'm highlighting again a portion of the song, go up to 15 seconds because that's all I really need. After that, if you don't want anything else, you can just highlight everything else and again hit delete. Now we only have this much smaller version, very easy to work with. Highlight it, come over to effects, say now I want to add, let's change the tempo. Let's make it a little faster. Now, this is what it would sound like. Be ready. A little more going on. Not really the best of sound. So I didn't like it. I'm going to click on Edit, Undo, Change Tempo. Exactly the same thing as Sumo Paint. You would do Edit, Undo. I'm going to come back up here to Effects. I'm going to click on maybe Compressor. And let's find out what it sounds like when it's compressed. Give it a few seconds. Here goes. And that was basically it. Now I want to show you how to create somewhat of a loop. Okay, so I really like that and I want it to loop over and over again. So I'm going to highlight it. Then I would come up here to edit, copy, click right after it, and then go edit again, paste. Now, hey, what do you know? I have another section. Now I'm just going to kind of drag it over here, or I could simply erase the space in between by doing a delete. Now I've kind of meshed the two together here. And that's basically the idea that you're having your students do here, is they're completely editing sounds. And now because I'm within that time frame of the amount of time or the amount of seconds per song preview, I'm not breaking any copyright rules and it's completely safe for students to do. That would be of the utmost regard here. At this point in time, your students have already created a syncane. What I like to have my students do is, with a regular microphone, all you do is kind of plug it into your computer. You can pick up a microphone at Walmart for about $10. Not very expensive and very affordable. Also, after plugging it in, you would simply come over here. You would click on record. My computer's not letting me record right now just because I'm using the microphone for a different recording purpose right now. But you would basically come over here and hit the record button, and you would want to lay down a new track. So you'd come over here to tracks, add new audio track, and now you got this extra portion down here. And if you're going to record, you'd simply click down here and then hit the record button, and it'll start recording the syncane. So now you'll have two things going on. You'll have students who have created at this point in time their own music version that they've edited, but now also they're going a step beyond that and recording their own voice and digitizing it. They can also add those really neat effects to it and play with all of that stuff. Now, the question is, how do you now, once you've finished, export the file or finalize the project? You would basically go to File. The way we import is basically bringing in. Export would be the antonym, so we're going to finalize it and export it to our computer. Simply click on Export. I want to click on my desktop, find the music folder. It's right here. Open it, and now I'm going to change the title here to Finalized Product, and then save it. Click OK. OK again, and it's all done. Now I want to check it out, and finalized product, here it is, and this is the finalized product you're listening to. And that's essentially it. Okay, so now the idea is, how do I relate this to the comic experience? What you can have your students do, you can have them create a background sound, and while they've created their background sound here, read the story here. That's one idea. Another idea might be to find some type of a rap background beat and have them create a rap about their comic. And then again, they would export it, and now you have something else to add to their overall work. Now they've worked with Animoto, and they've worked with Audacity as well as Sumo Paint. Now the next step is to begin to think, how can I use this to begin to informate the ideas here and use them in a real life situation. What I've had my students do in the past is create a school jingle, and all students would basically be working, and I only had a few microphones. I think I had like 3 or 4 of them, and I would have my students take turns there at that computer, and they would basically be working on it maybe in pairs or in small groups, and they would create their jingle together, a school jingle, and they would save it. Once they were done, we would burn them all onto a CD and turn it into our administrator, and we would have him kind of go through them and pick one that he may have really liked and turn that into somewhat of a school jingle for the year. So these are just a few ideas that will work for you. The idea here is, again, remember, it's about the process, not the product. The process is the most important thing. Your students are working as editors here. They're completely digitizing sound. They're learning how to work with it. They could easily take these ideas, and from this we could stem the idea that maybe they may want to work in a recording studio one day and learn all about that and work in that sense. Or they could even want to work as one of the people, I believe they're called Follies. They create the sounds in movies. So there are tons of great ideas that can stem from this. Thank you again, and that's a little bit about Audacity. If you want more information about it, feel free to Google it, or you can always send us an email and we'll do our best to answer any of your questions that you may have. Thanks again, and I hope you enjoyed this.
We've just spoken a little bit about Sumo Paint as well as Audacity. I hope you really enjoyed them. You'll find quite a bit more about them within the lesson plan section of the resources. Thanks again.